Greetings. This is David Murphy, publisher of the National Black Unity News, and welcome to our podcast. And before we get started in our conversation this evening, I just want to share a little bit of house rules to you. That this is a pre-recording, this is the taping, and the full podcast will be presented tomorrow. And for more information at the end of this podcast, I will give out the information as to how you can get the full podcast. But with that being said, I want to thank and welcome my two co-hosts, brother Satawi Jahi, and also brother Andre Hector.
Hello.
And the way we like to get started, we started with my brother Satawi. We'd like to share a reading with you. To you, sir.
Yes, sir. Reading for the day from Daily Motivations for African American Success. Burn, baby, burn. Quote, you're not rewarded for having brains, you're only rewarded for using them, unquote. Mordecai Johnson, former president of Howard University. Whenever you buy a plane ticket or a train ticket, someone always asks you, quote, destination, please, unquote. In other words, what's your aim? The universe asks the same of us a similar question. Quote, where are you going in life? Unquote. In order to answer this question, you must get smart about your destination. You must set specific, measurable, acceptable, realistic, and truthful goals. If you engage in the process of becoming, quote, smart, unquote, you will be on your way to reaching your objective. And because you have identified your destination, your personal power will multiply. For example, on a clear, bright, sunny day, take a magnifying glass outside and hold it over a pile of crumpled paper for leaves. Even though you're magnifying the intensity of the sun's rays through the glass lens, you will never start a fire if you keep moving the glass around. But if you hold a magnifying glass still, allowing it to focus the rays in a concentrated beam of sun energy, you will harness the power of the sun and multiply it through the lens, igniting a fire. The same process could be utilized to start a fire in your affairs. By concentrating on a single goal and focusing your energy, you will harness your personal power and reach your objective. Try and unite your ideas. Today I will identify my destination and ignite my destiny purpose. That is our reading for today.
Thank you, sir. Brother Andre.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
How are things going with you today?
Everything is going good. Everything is going good. Just happy to be here. Happy for the viewers who are tuning in. So so far it's been an awesome day.
All right, fantastic. And on my day, I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, today is a good day. Every day is a good day to me, just to be here. You know, I have walked this life for many a years now, and there's been ups and downs, ins and outs. But I learned one thing. I learned a great thing over the years. I'm always a student. I'm always willing to learn new and wonderful things. But at the same time, you know, we was on air last week, and we decided to talk about this great subject matter. And the subject matter, I'm going to let my brother Satawi speak a little bit on that first before I get started.
Yes, sir. Okay. We talked about other people's opinions of you and how you need to make sure that, again, that you have an opinion of yourself, because as Les Brown often said, his teacher used to remind him that other people's opinions of you do not have to become you. And that's so true, because when me and my wife ran the culture center, I used to have these children that was on medication, you know, and they, you know, and we didn't give them their medication. You know, it was like they were supposed to take Ritalin and this other kind of stuff, and things that they had. And you know, I remember one time asking one of the children, I said, "What you supposed to do? What's these pills for? Why you gotta take them?" And he tried to tell me, you know, he had educational deficit disorder. I said, man, that's a lot of big words for a little 11-year-old like you
It sure is.
I said, how you know what all of that means? He says, I don't. All I know is I'm supposed to take them. I said, well, Baba Jahi's not a nurse. I'm not equipped to give you these pills. I said, but what I can give you is a dose of love. I said, because the other thing is, whenever they gave you these pills, and whoever prescribed them, they have an opinion of you. And their opinion of you is that big word you gave me, attention deficit disorder, and I don't have that opinion of you. I said, you can do anything you want to do. I said, the bottom line is, you know how to hold your attention, and you just need to be able to know how to stay focused. I said, and we can do that through a lot of love, care, and understanding. And so, and when you apply that to your adult life, you're going to have people that's going to have opinions of you that really has nothing to do with who you are and whose you are. And so
That's
it's
right.
important that we make sure that we keep our own opinions of ourselves. I listened to a powerful broadcast this morning with Minister Louis Farrakhan, who was 84, and people, they admired his skin and everything. And he says, it's because, he says, I know how to eat to live. He says, some of y'all, he says, y'all eat because you're trying to rush to the graveyard. And he says, if you eat properly, then you can prolong your life, which means you'll have more time to contribute to our liberation struggle. So that's so important that, that we make sure that we're eating right, doing the best we can with the limited resources that we have, because a lot of stuff that we're given to eat is not good for us. And, we just need to keep that in mind as we move forward so that we can see many more years on this earth. And I thought the broadcast was really, really good. He was on this radio station in Chicago. I'll send you all the link to it when I bring it back up. But, he shared a lot of good information, and one of the things that he talked about was he was sharing with the brothers about as he called it, he says the new reefer they have out. He says they call it Kush. And, so the brothers was like, hey, get that Kush. He said, yeah, we need to leave that Kush alone. He says, because it's being modified and it's feminizing black males because they add stuff to it that will cause you to have more estrogen than testosterone and will feminize you, because the whole thing is, he says, they want to be able to feminize the black male so that we don't have strong men and, have to be dependent upon our women taking the lead. And so, the thing again was, I thought the dialogue was very, very good. I thought how he complimented the people on the program. How he complimented them with different statements like, hey, I love you. He said, and that's not in a way in which means I want something from you in terms of your flesh or your body. He says, but I love you. He says, because I love your spirit. I love what you're attempting to do here, and the importance of how love can be expressed without it having to be a physical relationship going on. And so, that those things touch me near and deep to my heart, because I watched a movie the other night. I know I'm bouncing around here, but I watched a movie the other night on Netflix called 187 with Samuel L. Jackson, who was a teacher. And 187 is a code word that's used by the police when someone wants to kill you. And he had this student and he failed, and the student decided he was going to try to kill Samuel L. Jackson. And so the student was able to sneak up behind him in the hallway and stab him in his back several times with a shank that was made out of a 16-inch penny nail, and, punctured him in the back. but Samuel Jackson survived, and when he survived, he reappeared like several years later, where he was a substitute teacher in California. And I won't give the whole story away, but that's the backdrop to the story. And the thing is that he really, really wanted to be a teacher because that's what he really wanted to do. And he felt that process got messed up. And, you just got to watch the movie. It's called 187 on Netflix. When you get a chance, try to watch that tonight if you can, or over the next couple of days. I think you really, really will enjoy it. Movie kept me up to the wee hours of the morning, and caused me to be a little bit sleepy this morning, whatever. But that's my
okay, bro.
take on stuff.
All right. Speaking on the subject, man, of how people opinion of you may affect you. Now, I do know some things in life, over time, we are people of our environment, and sometimes we go along to get along. And I do know we follow trends, and I know we travel in packs, and we want to be accepted by our peers and everything else. But in your personal life, how did other people's opinion affect you?
All right, so yeah, opinions of other people at the time when I was younger, it really did matter. I was the type of young man who was very shy, wasn't into large groups at the time, going to school and coming up. As a matter of fact, I was on medication. They had me all on Risperidol, Depakote, and a couple of other things as I was coming up in school, just living in foster care and things of that sort. They felt like that would be a solution for me, and it seems common. People feel like, oh, he needs medication or she needs this and needs that to keep them under control. But that's not always the time the solution. I remember coming up in my uncle's house when at 17, when I was brought into his home. One of the first things that he did, he said, "Son, I'm gonna take you off that medication. You don't need that. All you need is discipline. You need love, and you need the support of your family, and you could get through this." And it became apparent. Went to school the next day. The teachers and staff found out that, hey, he's not taking his medication. What's the deal? We need to find out who's behind all this. So they had a meeting, and they wanted to know who was responsible for taking me off this medication. And that's exactly what happened. And over the years, the last 2 years of, a year, being in high school, believe it or not, I graduated with honors, top of my class, 3.8 grade average, and all because of somebody taking the time and showing me love, discipline, and that was the key. Um, and I get it. There's some medication out there that people may need for whatever circumstances they're in, but when it comes down to it, to be honest with you, so there's a person who I would love to have on the show. He's a good brother. As a matter of fact, he's part of the organization that I'm in, the Churches of God in Christ Jesus Apostolic. His name is Brother Renardo. He's from the D.C. area. He goes to Pastor Minor's Church of Rehoboth, Church of God of Delaware. This young man is phenomenal. He's a good friend of mine. He's my brother in arms. He's very well educated in the health, and he told me quite a few things, and I would love to have him on the show when it talks about health. One of the things that he said to me that was so clear, he said, "Let your food be your medicine, and let your medicine be your food." And I thought about that. Why do we have so many diseases? Why do we have so many issues with the body? Why there's so many things going on out here? The food that we eat. It's all about the food that we put in our body. What you put in your body, that's exactly what you're going to get out. You eat junk, you're going to produce junk. So, even going back to the Bible talks about how to eat. And it was just so important to me. And I asked myself the question, do I really And then, do you really need the medicine? Do we need this type of medicine that we're taking? I was looking at a documentary, and it was on Netflix. I don't know if anybody heard about it, but it's called What the Health. You ever heard of that? What the Health?
No, I
No,
haven't.
I
No.
haven't. No. If you go on Netflix, everybody for listening, just go to Netflix and you type in What the Health. It's a documentary, and it's talking about the food industry, the drug industry, and I encourage you guys to go and check that out. That was the start of my journey as far as uh, my journey to health and good health. And it's amazing. It has a lot of insight. And the young man he's running the documentary. He's talking about the different foods that we eat and how it could cause cancer, heart disease, and things of that sort. So it really boils down to what we eat. And people say, well, it's hard, I ain't got the money, where I'm going to find this. But we find everything else we want to do. I mean, to be honest with you, we find everything else. If when we get a chance, we promote everything else we want to promote that we want to do. But I encourage everybody to look at that documentary and really find out what's going on. And it's all about promoting not only just a good life. We talk about wealth. We talk about gaining knowledge. But clearly, our people perish because of the lack of knowledge. So we really got to look at this in a different perspective. And come to find out that, hey, we came short, but we don't have to. We have the internet. We have everything we need as far as getting the information. So let's get to it. I encourage everybody to look at that.
I'll make sure I do that.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, let me say this to you, to both Brother Satawi, Brother Andre. Now, y'all both gave suggestions to some films to look at, and you gave I asked you a question about the opinions of others, and I'm gonna throw myself out there as a sacrificial lamb, like I'm gonna keep it real.
Keep it real.
And I had a revelation last night. And the revelation was I was looking at this ministry. Y'all know the brother T.D. Jakes had on there, and he had a subject matter.
Yeah.
And I forgot. He was talking about they and them.
Right.
And as he was speaking about they and them, he came up with the story in the Bible about the lady who was caught in adultery. And as I was explaining, about the story that Jesus told about the woman who was caught in adultery, and the people brought the lady to Jesus and said, by the law of Moses, she should be stoned. What say you? They call him rabbi or something like that. And Jesus was stooped down, and was writing in the dirt or something. And he looked up. He said, and he mentioned, I'm not going word for word, but he said, those of you who are without sin, cast the first stone. And so from the eldest all the way down to the youngest, they actually thought about, as the elders walked away, everybody else walked away from them. And Jesus asked the lady, where are your accusers? She said, there is none. And then he said, there's none here either. And then he told her to go. And she said, sin no more. And but the funny thing about that story is this. Why did they just bring the lady there and left the man there? If she was caught in adultery, why wasn't he brought there too? And so it was a double stand. And another thing was, it was a crowd of people. Were all of them in the room, or were they just mob mentality? None of them else was they in the room with the woman. How would they know? They just going by hearsay. And hearsay is a powerful, powerful tool. See, this hearsay, these people was about to stone this lady because maybe somebody said, yeah, she did this, without them doing real investigation. First of all, they didn't have the part. She couldn't have did it by herself. And then everybody else had stone ready to stone her by the moment, all because of hearsay. And hearsay is a powerful, powerful force, a powerful tool. You know, in this day and time, our children are committing suicide because them and they are saying things on the internet. And then people jump on in the mob mentality. People don't even know who this person is, and they jumping in there and discouraging or saying negative or derogatory things to the young lady. And sometimes these children, with their mind like that develop, commit suicide. They're bullied. They're afraid to go to school. And like I said, you know me, I like to keep it real, and it brought me back to my childhood. You know, I come from a family of 8 of us. Actually, it was 9, but 8 of us. And you know, in those days, you know, it wasn't just my family; it was the average family. You know, most people didn't have, you know, off the rack clothes. You know, we had what you call hand-me-down. The older brother had it, and he didn't wear it out. It would pass down to the next child, whoever could fit into him. And then you had people like your grandmother would bring you clothes from Jewish families, everything. You know, people just couldn't afford to buy off-the-rack clothing, you know. And people, we used to run around with patches and stuff, so it wasn't about clothing. You know, it wasn't just me, but the whole neighborhood was pretty much like, except for 1 or 2 families that was pretty more successful than others. You know, they could do it. But the thing was, I had what you call self-conscious. I was very self-conscious. You know, and I like nice things like the next person, but because I didn't have the latest style shoes or the best of clothing or the best bicycle or something like that, you know, it kind of bothered me. And children, back in the children could be very cruel. Not even back then, even to this day, as I just mentioned, people are committing suicide because of opinions of others. If you don't have the latest shoes or something like this, that's why they brought uniforms in the school system, so they can kind of alleviate that. Because certain children wouldn't have, and children would tease you mercilessly. They would hurt you. They had me to a point. I was hooking school in elementary school, hooking school because I didn't feel comfortable. Not who I was, but I'm talking about what I had on.
Right.
What people's opinion of me was, what they were thinking about me. And that kind of molded my life in a negative way, very negative, to the point of almost getting to that point where somebody say, so didn't want to live. You know, and when you come up, and if you know, like I said, peer pressure is a powerful thing. And people, well, we just call it riding you or call the dozens, whatever you want to call it, but it was very negative. And you laugh it off, you try to play it off, but it cuts you to the core. And so opinions of others has caused many to do certain things. You know, we got a penal institution full of people who are locked up because of opinions of others. We got people who never reach their full potential because of the opinions of others.
That's right. That's right.
You know, you had teachers that say, boy, you're never going to do this. You never, even your parents say, you know, you ain't going to never arrive to nothing sometimes. You know, people will say things to you, and they don't know. They just say them in general sometimes, but to you, it'll cut you to the core. And so, and if you live long enough, the opinions of others will and it do affect you. And if you with propaganda, see, in my time, we didn't do a lot of medication. We did what we call self-medication. So if you was hurting, you would end up using drugs, you know, or alcohol or something, you know, to kind of soothe that. And that's why back in those days, we had plenty of people who were drinking then. That's before drugs became rampant. And because most likely because they had low self-esteem and they had low opinions of their own self. And so, you know, so it's a powerful subject matter. And I'd like for everybody to chime in because, like I said, I'll cast the first stone, even though, you know, I'm not using, you know, words are a powerful, powerful tool. Powerful. And the truth is like a two-edged sword. It cuts both ways. You can lift somebody up, and with that same tongue, with that mouth of yours, you can cut somebody down. And then even on the, even when you're not trying to cut somebody down, even the perception of people, what they think you're saying about them, just the perception, the way you intake things, you can cut your own self down just by the opinion of others. And everybody has an opinion. But how we accept it internally is something that we need to discuss, because, like I said, there's a lot of issues going on out here because of the opinions of others. You got people in this country, from the president all the way down, got opinions of a whole race of people. And you got a whole people jumping on the bandwagon. No, I don't like black people either. I don't like these type of people. I don't like them people. And don't know you. Never been in your presence.
That's right.
I mean, but willing to hurt you, and I mean, to do real harm because of the mob mentality, because they took the opinions of somebody else instead of them investigating for themselves. Oh, because my father was a racist, so I'm one too. You know, like we can't use our own minds and everything. Like we fall right into the crowd, and that's why gangs are so prevalent today, because they just want to belong. They will go out there and hurt people just because they want to belong to a gang or group of people, because their opinion of them will be a little easier on them, you know, just by being in that thing. And so, you know, so I'm going to open up these, and if you got a lot of noise in your background, please star 6 yourself, because if there's a lot of noise, I'm going to have to mute everybody out. And so since I kind of cast that stone out there, we're going to have what you call an open discussion about the opinions of others, because and how did it affect you, and if it did affect you, how did you overcome it? Anybody want to jump in?
Yeah, let me jump in there first, David. I never forget, I had an experience. I was in high school, and one day what happened was I decided that I wasn't going to go to school that day because it was too cold. And see, normally my parents, they would leave out for work in the morning, early in the morning, you know, before we got up. So it was my responsibility in terms of my sisters and everything to fix breakfast and everything else. So, you know, I took care of fixing their breakfast and everything else. So I decided I was going to stay home. So I said, it's too cold to go out there this morning, you know, and walk up to Emerson High School. So when my father got home that evening and he asked me, how was school today? I said, I didn't go, Dad. He says, you didn't go? I said, no, I didn't go. I said, it was too cold. He said, boy, you a punk. And I didn't realize until I had counseling later on how that affected me a lot, because, you know, I really respected my father. You know, he taught me how to play tennis. You know, he taught me how to play basketball. He taught me a lot of different things. But for him to call me a punk, and then, you know, to me, that was like almost in the sense of calling me like a homosexual. And, you know, so I was like, you know, my father called me a damn punk. You know, so you little sister, you punk. Too cold to go out there today. You know, and so that bothered me for a long time, all the way up until being an adult. And I didn't get over that until, as an adult, one time, I'll never forget, I confronted my dad. I said, you remember the time I didn't go to school and you called me a punk? He said, yeah, but he said, I didn't mean it like that. I said, you didn't mean it like what? He said, I didn't mean it like you was a homosexual or something. I said, well, Dad, I said, that's how I took it. And I said, that really bothered me for a long time. I said, because it made me feel less than a man. And, you know, he apologized, but by then, you know, I had already been through some experiences and some other stuff that but I never forget that just knocked me for a loop, because, you know, I was like, I couldn't believe my father had called me a punk, all because I didn't go to school on a cold day. And so I just wanted to share that.
Well,
yeah, go ahead, brother.
You know, I'm sitting up here listening, and it sounds like to me, people always say that the opinions of others don't matter, and it really does, and it depends on whose the opinion is coming from. So people just aren't worth that time. They need to know the real you. They need to take time out And you know, I've been through that before. I think everybody's been through that. I, you know, a young man, here I am. I'm on 5'5", short, not like the rest of the people. They're taller than me. Well, everybody's taller than me. I'm short. You know, so uh, they say sticks and stones may break my bones, but names, and
Mm.
you know, names will never hurt me. Coming up, coming to work, especially here at the MTA. Um, I don't know. It's just I don't know if it's my cologne or what I'm wearing or something. I get cussed out almost every day at my job, and you know, I reflect that energy back. I do. I tell everybody. I say you could call me every name in the book. You just don't call me too late for dinner.
Okay.
And you know, and I'm learning, and I'm coming to find out that you have to set the atmosphere. Yeah, names hurt. I get it. It hurts. We get called names that we don't like. Words could either kill us or bring us life. Your presentation. But you as an individual, you cannot stop people from talking. And when these talks do come to you, you have to know within inside yourself that you know that's not you. And I hear people say, well, your mom is this and your mom is that. And they don't even know your mom. They talk about you, but they really don't know you. I mean, I don't get mad. I used to get mad, but I don't get mad no more. They say, "Man, you fat, you big head bum," and I look, my head is big, and I might be a little chubby. I can't get mad. I mean, I did gain some weight. I like to eat, so it becomes a point where you got to know who you are. You got to be comfortable in your skin. If you don't like what they're saying and you feel like you need to make a change, and you know, then make the change. Oh, but I need something, you know. No, you have to determine. You got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You got to make a change. Either they're telling the truth or they're not. But with me, when it comes to me, look, I'm telling everybody out there, call me whatever you want. Look, when it's time to eat, you better call me on time.
All right. But you know,
If you're looking for a reliable, professional, and affordable travel agent, well, you've come to the right place. We're proud to be the top local travel agency, and we've committed to creating satisfied customers and ensuring that your trip is a smooth one. Whether you need airfare, hotel reservations, transportation, or excursion planning, we can do it all. Call or email one of our friendly staff now to start planning your next vacation.
something else. The narrative is this. Yeah, you know, like I say, people, everybody has an
Oh
opinion,
man,
and it don't make, like I say, it don't make it so because there's only one truth. And but like I say, perception is a powerful thing. You know, by me being in the
true.
newspaper
That's true.
business, we publish a newspaper, the National Black Unity News, and we put out a lot of opinions, a lot of them. But the type of opinions that we're putting out there is positive information, life altering information for the better, so people have a better quality of life.
That's true.
And so you know you could what there is, like I say, in the universe, the laws of the universe, there's always a positive and a negative to it. It's all about the way you perceive things. The glass half empty or the half full, all half full. And because we on this show we cater to black, African, indigenous, natives of Africa, people, black people. And by saying that, we don't put down any group or race of people, but there's a lot of opinions about us as a people. They lump us all into one big mold and say that we are this and we are that. And unfortunately, because of the conditions that we live in, or the conditions that we was put in.
And that's true. You want to know one thing, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, sir. I'm listening.
I got a lot of feedback on Facebook here, and I'm looking at a good mentor of mine, a gentleman who was with me when I was in foster care. He's my caseworker. His name is Mr. Pinkney, and I thank God for him. Hello, Mr. Pinkney. I'm glad that you're making comments. And one of the comments I just want to share with you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, bring it on.
He says that it's not what they call you, but it's what you answer to. And that's true. You can't stop. That's true, Mr. Pinkney. That is totally correct. You can't stop what people are throwing at you, but you have the power of response. And that's something that is important. People get hurt and they say some things to you, but it's all about your response. Thank you, Mr. Pinkney. I appreciate you.
Yeah, Mr. Pinkney got a powerful point he's making, and but unfortunately, that is a great solution to how we respond to it. But if you was told you were this and you were that pretty much the majority of your life. Now, I heard people say about children, and I grew up with people like this. I even heard their parents, boy, you ain't no good. You ain't going to never measure up to be nothing. And these were the most impressive. We was around 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And these are our most impressionable years. And when people tell you those type of things, eventually sometimes people believe it. They say, you know, they don't even have hope. They say, well, they label me no good. I ain't going to measure up to nothing. And therefore, they take on their persona. What Mr. Pinkney was just saying is this. How do we, from this point forward, knowing that opinions of others do affect us, one form or another? Because sometimes people can say all kinds of good things to us, and we believe that too, sometimes. And then sometimes we can have the attitude of being thinking too highly of ourselves. We can go on an ego trip sometimes. But you know, everything should have balance in life. Now, the opinions of others could be a learning tool, because some people may say things to you that try to help you. You may not like their opinion, but like I say, if it's dealing with truth, and then you know, like I said, it cuts both ways, you know. And but with that being said, here we are 10 after 8, and I want to take a little break here, and we come right back into discussion. We're going to open up the lines, but I want to share a little information to you about why we having this podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the National Black Unity News. And the National Black Unity News is by us and is for us. This is a nationwide black circulated newspaper. And we have a host of editors in the publication giving their opinions, their expertise in their chosen fields, of how they can enhance people's quality of life. And I encourage everybody who's online, who's on the live streaming, who will see this on the podcast, the edited version of it, to support the National Black Unity News, because it's geared to support you. And also would like to extend an invitation to our pre-launch nationwide black business directory. It's affordable and effective. You get a lot of bang and value for your money. And if you have a business or service and you want to promote your business services nationwide, we give you a year's worth of advertisement. I don't think you can get this much publicity, this much advertising for the value that we asking you to support us with. You can go to our website. One is it's www.TNBUN.com. That stands for the National Black Unity News.com. And the directory is www.tnbundirectory.com. Check them out, ladies and gentlemen. And with that being said, tomorrow night at 7:30, we would have a conference call, and you're welcome to join and it will tell you how you can participate with us. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is my opinion, since we're talking about that. We spend $1.2 trillion in this country annually, as they say. But like I said, I always tell people, I believe it's 3 or 4 more times greater than that. And perception is a powerful thing. We have power in this country. And I'm talking about black people. But because of the opinions of others, Some even at one time they were saying we wouldn't eat humans one time. That was their opinion. But I'm gonna tell you, we are the original people. God don't make no mistakes. And we need to support one another. So we need to build up our own communities again. And with that being said, Brother Satawi,
Yes, sir.
getting to you, sir. Back in the day when I first met you, you dealt with a lot of children, a lot of our youth. And speaking on this subject matter, all of those children, even my children, went to your center. And I know you've seen that some of these children came from all types of homes, all types of different upbringings. And I know you probably seen, because even when we had a youth program there, we had some children that were so outgoing, and then you had some of the children so withdrawn and shy. Then you had some children would pick on the other children. How do you deal with that?
Well, we had a process we did called a unity circle, and in the unity circle, first thing we had to do was to get people to, one, feel good about themselves. So we had a thing that go like this. I feel good about myself. I feel good about the people around me. I feel goodness all around me. And it will follow me for the rest of my life. Because I walk with good. And I talk with good. And I am good. And that feels real good. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Your good is your better, and your better is your best. You can do it. You can do it if you just stick to it. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better and better.
That's
and then
good.
from there, we would do the book that I read from, early to start our podcast off, Daily Motivations for African American Success. So we dealt with a lot of positive affirmations. And I never forget, one day we had a situation where we had a young man. It was right after the Christmas holiday. And he had an attitude. He was like, his attitude was really, really bad. And, and I found out, I told the brother that was working, that was part of our staff, Brother Happy. I said, Happy, man, take him for a walk, man. Take him for a walk, man, and try to calm him down. And so, he took him out for a walk. And when we got to the root of the problem was why he had such a funky attitude that day was his younger brother's father had bought gifts for him, but his father was incarcerated and he didn't get any gifts for Christmas. And so that really ticked him off. And so, we had to get into that and explain, based on your father's circumstances, he's not able to do that for you right now. And so I said, be thankful that your younger brother has a father, and that his father was kind enough to, buy him some gifts for the holiday. But every child had a different situation, and we'd have to, we'd have to put on our thinking hats, man, and come up with ways to help overcome that with a positive attitude, And that's why we have this thing, PMA, positive mental attitude, versus NMA, negative mental attitude.
That's right.
So we used to take the children through those kind of exercises, and getting them to focus on, we'd holler it out. What is PMA? It's positive mental attitude. And then, they would, when we would go places, people always admired our children. I'll never forget, we was at a program called Youth Works, where we had to hire these young people through the city that had dropped out of school. And so when we came to a Youth Works event, everybody admired our children that we had in our program. Other ones, they hadn't found a way to reach the young people. And it was little simple things like, we had a dress code, but I used to tell the young people, I say, come in here, you can dress how you want to dress. I said, once you get here, I said, you're going to put on the uniform for the day. I said, and when you leave, you take that uniform off. I said, but the main thing is, you know, we can't have y'all up in here. These were teenage girls and stuff like that. We can't have y'all up in here with all the tops on and Daisy Dukes and stuff like that. I said, so when you come in, I said, you can go use the restroom. You put on your T-shirt, because we had camp T-shirts for them to wear. I said, and bring a pair of sweatpants or a pair of jeans that you can put on. And I said, that'll be your uniform for the day. And so the young people, as opposed to us telling them what not to wear, but, you know, how they can wear what they want. But when you get here, you're going to change your clothes. And, you know, that'll help with us making sure that we have this atmosphere and this place, you know, in compliance. I didn't just use the word compliance, but, you know, basically to keep things running smooth. So, you know, we used to do that. I never forget we had a lady who we had to fire. She was a woman who worked at the school next door, who was part of our summer camp staff. We had hired her, but she would go around and telling the young people that was a part of the program that Mr. Jahi was doing this and doing that at night. You know, he's out 2 o'clock in the morning doing this and doing that. And the young people, they would say, like, Mr. Jahi, we know that can't be true because you here at 6 o'clock in the morning, and if you hung out that kind of hours at night, you know, you'd be tired and whatever when you got here during the day, or you'd be trying to find a place to go take a nap and whatever. And so, you know, they say, you know, you need to deal with her. So what she was doing, she was trying to give them negative opinions about me because that was part of what was going on with the school next door. They didn't really like the program that we had because when we helped the parents in the neighborhood form a PTO, which is a parent-teacher organization, the principal and the people next door, they was like, Mr. and Mrs. Jahi, y'all don't have no children going to this school. I said, yes, we do. I said, we have a bunch of children that go to this school. I said, they're the children that's in our program. I said, because they refer to us as Mama and Baba Jahi, which means mother and father. I said, we're the extended family. Who said, well, that don't count. So, you know, you don't have no biological children going here. And you know, and so we ran into a lot of obstacles and issues dealing with those. For the sake of time, I won't go into all of those. But bottom line is we tried to set up a positive workplace, positive atmosphere where children can get nourished, be fed, one, good food, because I had a thing was that whatever I ate, children was going to eat. So we had a camp worker who was like, Mr. Jahi, I know you ain't gonna get ready barbecue chicken and stuff for them and get them potato salad and this, that, and the other. He said, they come to my program, they get peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I said, well, we don't do peanut butter and jelly here. I said, you know, I said we want the children to feel appreciated. And I said, and the best way they can feel appreciated is that whatever you eat, that they eat.
That's good. Brother Satabi, for time's sake, I want to move on to Brother Hector here. He mentioned something early. He mentioned something early to me. It was that you drive a bus, right, sir?
Right now I don't drive a bus right at this moment.
Yeah, but you mentioned to me. Yeah, but you were saying that you get cussed out almost every day. Almost.
Yeah. I work.
But the question I want to ask you on that is this.
Okay.
Now, I understand your feedback to them, but that can't be easy because a lot of people are tossing their opinions at you, and even though you know who you are, you say you well and grounded in that. But do you ever wonder who these people are and why they acting, why they doing the things they doing, why they taking it out on you?
I believe it's the lack of understanding. I know how these people, sometimes I do. They really talk to me and we sit down and we talk about it. But sometimes the people come through the station or because they have a problem. They're upset about something. And, you know, we are the line of the fence when it comes down to customer service. So, you know, whatever issues that they may have, they'll take it out on me or whoever is there. But, you know, even though they bring that energy inside, I always keep in mind that I have the energy and I have the power to set that atmosphere. You know, I set the atmosphere, so I'm able to deter it. I'm able to break it down, and kind of calm them down and talk to them. And after a while, we good. But again, somebody mentioned Mr. Pinckney. He made a comment which I would like to share with you, if you don't mind.
Just go ahead.
All right, so he said that you got to have a listening ear and not be the problem solver and all the time. Sometimes it just takes you just listening to what the problems are at hand. You can't solve a problem unless you're a good listener. And that's a good point, Mr. Pinckney, that you made. I thank you. And just to piggyback on what the gentleman just said, Mr. Pinckney also said that the Bible says, honor your mother and your father. Your days may be long. It comes a point where you gotta honor and respect. You know, and that's important. Thank you, Mr. Pinckney.
All right. But you know what? For time, we have a few more minutes. If anybody else want to chime in, this is time to do so. But I just want to say this to Brother Satawi, Brother Army, and everybody else who's on the call with us this evening, Mr. Pinckney as well. You know, we value your opinion. We value everybody's opinion, really, you know, because, you know, words, when they go forth, you know, they don't come back void. Sometimes they can fall on deaf ears, but, you know, and sometimes they can cut you. But we have to get to a point in life where we are grounded and we are rooted in truth. And speaking about truth, I do know this, that we all are uniquely made. We are not a carbon copy of anyone. And so, so people who cast their opinions about this and cast their opinions about that, you know, that's the choice, because God gave each and every man a choice. You know, we have the right to choose. We also have the power of reasoning. And so, you know, but in this day and time with mass communication, we get information that's it don't mean that it's factual or it's true. And all I can say is this: we bring this broadcast to you because we care. We bring this broadcast to you because we're just not talking about, we are being about it, about making changes in a positive, in a positive way.
That's right.
And that's why the National Black Unity News, ladies and gentlemen, is here, because it's a collective, it's a collaboration of black men and women who has come together for the sole purpose to uplift us as a people. And I value that, because they have powerful opinions. Their hearts are in the right place, and they're here, like I say, to lift us up and to support one another. And I encourage you to get the National Black Unity News at www.tnbun.com. We have about 5 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Andre, I'd love for you to share information about how they can get in contact with you and let them know about your upcoming podcast.
Not a problem, Mr. Murphy. So pretty much you can go into my website. My website is onrihector.com. So it's onrihector.com. You can go onto my website and you can check all the upcoming events that are happening around the city and upcoming shows. You can check me out on Facebook at Henri Hector. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. It's all my name, Henri Hector. On there you can reach me, you can email me. All my information is on my website, onrihector.com, www.onrihector.com. Thank you.
All right, Brother Satavi, will you share
Yes,
a little
sir.
bit of information about how people get in contact with you, sir?
Yes, they can reach me at 252-458-3712, or they can go to our website, which is www.movements, MOVEMENTS, Unlimited, UNLIMITED.net. And you can find all information about our 501c3 nonprofit that we run.
Okay, fantastic. And this is yours truly, David Murphy, publisher of the National Black Unity News. And I can be reached at 443-455-2373. Again, that's 443-455-2373. And in closing, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's an honor and a privilege to communicate with you, to have you participate with us. And these are some serious times, ladies and gentlemen, and it takes a village. And that's why we encourage you to support the directory and support the National Black Unity News. But at the same time, there's a host of people out there doing wonderful and great things, and this is what we want to highlight in the publication. And so if you're doing wonderful and great things and you are access to our community, give me a call. Let's talk how we can help one another. Help me to help you so that we can help ourselves.
That's right.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, they can say, this is not a drill. I say, this is warfare. This is serious times. You know, this is not, you know, some type of thing where people are just talking about this and talking about that. People out to kill, pillage, and destroy. And it's time for God's people to rise up.
Amen.
There's hope. You know, we are light where there was once darkness, you know, and I'm saying to say this to you. Based on the subject matter that we were discussing this as, yeah, we all have an opinion, but there's one truth. And God made each and every one of us uniquely. And we need to look within ourselves. Stop looking without. Stop looking all around you about what this person think about you or what somebody else saying about you. Look within yourself. Only you know and God know who you really are. And stop forming opinions. Stop letting people define who you are and what you are. You have power within yourself, but you need to look within. Stop looking outside at all these different places looking for solutions to your problem. Your problem can be solved within you and with God. And there's a host of people out there who want to do right by you and will do well by you. But then again, that choice is yours. You need to step up, step out, and if you're having problems, ask somebody. Seek it out. And with that being said, again, this podcast will be broadcast tomorrow in this edited version. This is our unedited. This is a taping of the podcast, and I do and truly appreciate Brother Andre, Hector, and Brother Satawi Jahi.
Thank you.
And like I say, we just beginning this podcast. It's gonna get better, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, we just testing the waters and things like that. You know, we're gonna put some bells and whistles and stuff on here, but this is just raw, real, unedited, unrehearsed. You know, we come to you, we just keeping it real. But you know, information is power if you use it properly.
That's right.
And so, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, much love and respect. Come back next week. Participate with us. Because like I said, we like to open up the line because your opinion does matter to me. And like I say, because everybody can bring something to the table. Everybody. And so, and that's what this is a table. You go, everybody, if everybody puts something on the table, we can all feast upon it.
That's right.
And so again, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to stop the recording, and I'm going to say a pleasant good night to you.
Good night, everybody.
And much love and respect. Let's see. Take care now.
All right, brothers.
Good night, gentlemen.
Greetings from the National Black Unity News. This is a reminder of our podcast on Mondays evenings at 7:30 p.m. Join us for a powerful conversation with my co-hosts, Satawi Jahi and Andre Hector. We will bring forth information for us and by us. And if you're a business owner, you need to participate with us. If you're a concerned citizen, you need to participate. Join us every Monday night at 7:30 p.m.